Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Housing Development once again this week, your authoritative source for housing information. I am Flora Ani, your housing diva. We have lots on our lineup today. Coming up, we shall take a look at the nation's housing deficit and ways of solving them with some housing stakeholders. Would you go above your budget when renting or buying a house? Stay tuned as we discuss this and more on the program right after this news.
Professional planners under the aegis of Nigerian Institute of Town Planners last week called for a state of emergency in the construction sector. Meeting the House Committee on Urban Development and Regional Planning at the Federal House of Representatives, Abuja, the planners said the declaration would create a sense of urgency that has been needed to address infrastructural development across the country. The Institute traced the issue of substandard infrastructural development and building collapse to unethical conduct and sharp practices by professionals and their collaborations. The officials of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, has shut down 13 steel rod manufacturing companies engaged in producing substandard products. These manufacturers have said to have decreased the quality of these products and sold them at a high price. Speaking at a stakeholders meeting in Lagos was the SON Director General, Malam Farouk Salim. He said that Nigeria's industrial standard for steel products must be adhered to, and also the steel companies and importers must recall any substandard steel bar they have left in the market. The residents of Osborne Forshire Estate have contested moves by Lagos State government to convert area reserved for recreational centre into a courthouse and jetty. The residents in a suit filed at the Lagos High Court, TBS Division, contended that the proposal to build a courthouse in the residential area is dangerous to their lives. They added that the action amounts to security breach, threat to their lives and properties, which is capable of inflicting untold hardship and extra burden on them. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Works and Housing, Alhaji Babangida Hussaini, on behalf of the federal government, pledged to resuscitate the moribund Onikan Artisans Training School in Lagos, Nigeria. He made a disclosure during inspection of facilities in Lagos. He said the move is in line with the economic recovery and growth plan of retaining the youth to support professionals on the sites. Accompanying him was the Federal Controller of Works in Lagos, Kayode Popola, who also decried the state of national assets in Lagos and pledged the government's commitment towards their rehabilitation. The Federal Capital Territory, FCTA, has said that poor budgetary allocation is hampering infrastructural development in the nation's capital. Speaking at the weekend was the FCT Minister, Malam Mohammed Bello, where he appealed to the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission to work out funding mechanisms to facilitate rapid development in the city. He said Abuja remains one of the fastest growing cities in the world, with a yearly population growth of between 7% to 9%, and needs more funding to expand the city's infrastructure.
I am Dr. Sam Egu, Senate Committee Chairman on Housing. Keep watching Housing Development Program.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts on Facebook, Housing Development Program, on Twitter, Housing Program, on Instagram @Housing Program. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.
Timberlock Wood Preservative surpasses all preventive measures designed to permanently prevent the damage and quality reduction of wood and wood-based materials by termites, fungi, bacteria, and other boring insects. Use Timberlock Premium Wood Preservative to prevent, correct, and defend wood and wood materials against deformities caused by termites and other insects in the later days. Timberlock is designed to solve wood preservation challenges with a standard you can trust. Timberlock Wood Preservative kills termites instantly. Timberlock Wood Preservative, the wood preservative brand leader in Africa.
For more housing news updates, visit www.africanhousingnews.com. Okay, you've looked at your financial situation and you've decided that for now, buying a house isn't the right thing to do but renting. But the big question is, how much rent can you afford? Your rent payment should total no more than 30% of your take-home pay. That is a magic number. Is that really visible in this part of the world? Why would some people go above their means when renting an apartment? Let's feel the pulse of some Nigerians on Voices on the Street.
I see no reason why you should be going above your budget. There are many other areas that you can stay in Abuja that you can afford. So far as there is road network in Abuja for you to meet up to anywhere you want to go to at any time. We don't have traffic in Abuja especially. So why not go down to those areas where you can afford a house and just not stress yourself and your landlord owing him for 2 months, for 2 years, 3 years and all. It doesn't make sense.
Most of the people want to live above their means. You cut your coat according to your size, not according to the clothes you brought. People want to show up. I have arrived. Most of them do borrow car, borrow house a lot. They want to show up. That's why they're living above their means. If you know a problem, will step in. If someone know that is receiving 60,000, you have to go to where your income can afford to rent a house. Then they will be doing almost to connect the clothes. You know that the cloth is not your side. They want to join the cloth, try to reach. At the end of it, the cloth will get teared. That's exactly what their problem is. And if you know that your salary cannot take you to live in town, live where you are. The most important thing that you are surviving.
Maybe as at the time they got those houses in those locations, they are okay. They were okay. You know, if you look at Nigerian economy, it is very, very unpredictable. Today you may be okay, and tomorrow you have money. You have money. You make some plans. You make your projections, and that okay. If you invest in X, Y, Z, you will be able to reap. Your income will increase, and maybe based on that. And so you see that some people take some of those steps, to be accessible to maybe closer to where their source of income is or source of livelihood is, and you can never tell.
It depends on the individual. There are people they might feel that if they rent houses in highbrow areas like Asokoro, Maitama, even Garimpa, they'll be able to meet big people. From there they might get some economic benefits. So if they have those monies, they will just go and rent it. But afterwards, they might not be able to meet up, become a problem. And there are some, just for the sake of, I want to belong, they will just go there and rent. I know money is a very scarce resource. It's not every time that you see money. Depending on the individual, if you're a public person, you're supposed to consider that you are a salary earner.
When you cannot work within your earnings, within your income, I feel that it's stupidity. Going to pay for 5 million when you know that you cannot afford it the second year. So whatever that happens to them is their own problem. So I advise them that they should go within their limits, what they can afford.
I'm Leilani Farha, the UN Special Rapporteur, and I hope you'll keep watching the Housing Development Program.
A perfect blend of quality, functionality, luxury and affordability.
Keeping in mind the intention of luxury and affordability together, the Brick City Valley Estate is designed to follow the site landscape, which ensures a natural lighting and natural ventilation coming in maximally into the home.
For the location plan and our site layout, they are just too perfect. Our access road linking to the estate is directly connected to the major highway.
Located strategically along the Kubwa Expressway for accessibility to the central business district.
Our internal roads and drainages are well networked. We have available electricity supply. We have adequate and constant supply of water.
We have 3 years payment plan. First year, you pay 40%. Second year, you pay another 40%. Within these 2 years, we can even allow you to move in. When you are there, you pay the balance of the 20%.
Urban Shelter Limited invites you to invest in trust and a masterpiece. Urban Shelter, setting the pace.
Welcome back. Voices on the street there. Just as they say, cut your coat according to your clothes. Now, Nigeria's housing deficit is put to about 18 to 22 million and is something that is still on the lips of so many housing stakeholders and how best to tackle it. Let's view this report where some stakeholders speak on the way of tackling the nation's housing deficit.
The issue of housing deficit has been growing from bad to worse, and successive governments from the time of Nigeria's independence have been grappling with this problem. Today, the country's housing deficit is between 15 to 20 million units, and for a country with a population of nearly 200 million people, it is particularly disheartening. It has been stated that to meet the shortfall, the country will require a minimum of an additional 2 million housing units per annum for 10 years. Speaking with Housing Development Program on ways to closing the nation's housing deficit gap, some stakeholders proffer solutions. Andrew Chiponde says there must be a strong political will of which housing must be on top of the government's agenda.
Our advice really is that there has to be strong political will. Housing must be on top of the government agenda. Housing must be given the right resources. And we as Shelter Afrique want to work with the Nigerian government on the supply side through the supporting of public-private partnerships where government comes in with land or subsidized infrastructure, and then we come in with funding and also developers that have the capacity to build 1,000 units of housing and more.
For this stakeholder, she says there is need to provide an enabling environment and allow the private sector to play in the market.
Moving forward, I think it is government's responsibility to provide the enabling environment and allow the private sector to play in the market. So if things like access to land, titling, infrastructure, those things are dealt with by government and made available, the private sector will come with its funds and provide the houses in a way that meets the needs of the people. There is no point providing housing that people cannot afford or that people cannot live in. It is necessary for you to provide what meets your peculiar housing environment.
For Samuel Thompson, he says focusing on core middle-class demand will go a long way in addressing the problem.
I believe that we have to, despite the difficulties, we have to focus on core middle-class demand and intelligently use that to coalesce around the provision of housing, not just for the middle class, but for the least affordable housing, but with the core and with certain types of enhancements, employer assisted, building on growth corridors, improving access to finance, those kinds of things that can help us to gradually expand and make our cities look better and address the housing deficits that we face.
The federal government has promised to address Nigeria's housing deficit by delivering 1 million houses per year to close the 17 to 20 million shortfalls by the year 2033. It is hoped that with public-private partnerships, this promise can be fulfilled in the coming years.
One of the most prominent features of your house is your roof. Your roof will tell how old your building is. At Plus World, we pride ourselves in having the expertise and products to bring your roof back to life. While other roofing companies suggest removing the roof, we restore the roof with warranty assurance. Let Plus World Roofing recoat your old and fading roofs and make your roofs brand new. Our products are eco-friendly and completely harmless to human and the environment. We offer services that will sustain your roof's integrity and by extension, your property value. This includes roof repairs and maintenance for residential, commercial, and industrial properties. Our roof restoration solution saves you up to 70% the cost of replacing your roof. Contact Plus World Roofing today.
Hello, my name is Casey Rust. I'm the Executive Director of the Centre for Affordable Housing Finance in Africa, and we're based in Johannesburg, South Africa. Please keep watching Housing Development Programme. It's a great show.
You're watching Housing Development. Those are the views of some housing stakeholders on the best way to tackle the housing deficit in Nigeria. If you're just tuning in, the program is Housing Development. Moving on, let's take an overview of the past edition of Abuja International Housing Show and give you a reason to anticipate on the next edition of the show coming up on the 26th to the 29th of July 2021 at the International Conference Center, Abuja, Nigeria. Let's have a look.
Thank Abuja Housing Show for giving us this opportunity, and we are so pleased to interact with the people in the audience here. They are showing a lot of interest and curiosity. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
The show here in Abuja is phenomenal. It's a great experience, and definitely we have some great exposure. Everyone here has obviously got some great things to offer, and visit us at our stand because we have some great offers for you in Dubai.
This is our second time of attending this show. The first time was last year, and it was a very successful show, and that's why we have decided to come back again this year. And from what we've been able to notice, we know that even the show is even growing better and better. And apart from that, this show allows you the opportunity to meet with so many people in the beauty industry. And what it does again is it exposes your product to people that are ready to embrace change or embrace new technology when it comes to building projects and stuff like that.
It's been wonderful. It's an avenue to meet a lot of people across the industry. So it has really actually been a great innovation on the part of the organizers.
The CEO of the Abuja Housing Show is a great guy. He's a fine gentleman, very innovative. He started this quite small, and progressively he's transformed the vision into a global brand. This event is now a global brand. It's gone beyond Nigeria, it's gone beyond Africa. People coming from North America, South America, Europe, Asia, African countries have made it their home exhibition. It is the benchmark for housing shows in Africa, and maybe I should say globally.
been following the organizers very keenly, and we can say that they have been growing from one level to another. In fact, this year's one is superb, and we can say really that Abuja Housing has come to stay, and we hope that we'll now be going from one country to another exhibiting, we say kudos to the organizers.
My name is Robert Hornsby with American Home Builders of West Africa. Keep watching Housing Development Program.
Get registered today to participate at the 15th Abuja International Housing Show. Reservation of exhibition space is on first come, first served basis. I'll be back in a moment. Buying, selling, and owning real estate, including homes, are often the most expensive transactions many individuals and households will undertake in their lives, especially as hundreds of thousands of naira can be involved, attracting dishonest tricksters and scammers who may wish to take advantage of those involved. The possibility of being scammed as a subscriber to a property is increased by the fact that most get involved in real estate transactions relatively infrequently throughout their lives. This leaves them inexperienced and vulnerable to those wishing to take advantage of them. But then the question is, who is regulating real estate developers and who is protecting the subscribers? That is one question begging for an answer, and we do hope to look into this topic in our subsequent edition.
Keep a date with Housing Development Program every week on AIT. Housing Development is the first and pioneer housing program in Nigeria and by extension, Africa. It remains the authentic voice of the Nigerian housing and construction industry. Housing Development is the only credible and specialized platform for seasoned professionals in the build industry, where quality and credible players in the real estate sector meet to interact, showcase, and analyze government policies. It is no doubt that hundreds of thousands of prospective Nigerians who desire to own their personal properties have done so through the assistance of Housing Development Program in the last 10 years. If you are a stakeholder in the build industry, here is where you must be. We are authentic, credible, and supported by all the leading professionals in the build industry. Housing Development on AIT.
Thanks for keeping a date with me. Let's do this again next week. To watch this episode again or previous ones of Housing Development, you can visit the YouTube channel Housing TV Africa. Do well to subscribe. I remain Flora Ani, your housing diva. Do stay safe out there.